Hi, everybody. This is Joe from Ecommerce Platforms, and today we're going to be talking about how you can create an online course with your very own website and potentially sell that course on that website or through marketplaces online. This is Ecommerce Platforms, so if you'd like to subscribe to our page or if you have any questions, feel free to click the button below or leave a comment in the comment section. So like I said, we're going to talk about how to create an online course. And starting off, just want to give you a little bit of a background for online courses, what they mean, how they work, and how you can build one for your own personal profits. So e-learning is definitely a booming industry. And when you consider that teaching and selling online courses is easier than ever before, it kind of makes sense. From digital courses offering convenient learning experiences to instructors being able to create content from home by themselves or with friends or coworkers. Uh, Overall, it frees up their time, it allows students more flexibility, and it gives you all sorts of options when it comes to uh, really sharing your knowledge with the world. So, if that sounds good to you, if you have any expertise or knowledge such as gardening, web development, yoga, or any professional skills such as Excel or Word or photography, whatever it may be, just keep in mind that you can make some money off of it. So, if that sounds good, we can move forward and I can talk about what we'll be exploring in this video and why it is so important to understand all of this before you kind of dive in and invest all your, or not all of your money, but some money. And we're going to also show you exactly how you can save money by doing so. So the first elements that we're going to talk about are why you should dabble in the online education market, how to choose the right course topic, as well as how to create a profitable course. And then we also want to continue with whether to use course marketplaces or utilize a software, so like a software as a service, to create your own online school. There are benefits and there are downsides to both of them. So we want to talk about them both, and then we'll proceed from there. So moving on, why should you bother creating an online course? That's a really good question that we've gotten before. And starting off, education is changing radically. So especially where adult learning is concerned, for kids, we still obviously want to send them into schools and allow them to interact with their other students and teachers. But as you age and you join the workforce, there are fewer and fewer opportunities to, one, spend money on education, as well as find time for that education. So you can go to school, maybe you can go to college, and perhaps you'll enroll in an evening course, but it's all going to be very complicated. So as we've learned, it is very easy to just log onto your computer and learn about something like photography. Maybe you wanted to open up a web design business and you just need to get past that like intermediate phase. So regardless of what you are, if you're a beginner, if you're an advanced user or learner, you can use courses online, or you can also turn around and create your own products. And these are digital products, so there are plenty of benefits, high profit margins, as well as flexibility from working from home, as well as allowing yourself to keep costs low, because that's a big concern that a lot of people have, especially if you don't have that much cash flow to start with. So what else can we talk about here? So we have free online courses are some of the easiest ways to get started. I'm going to just go through a list here of the reasons why you might or even should create and sell a digital course. And we've taken the liberty of kind of listing these out, and I'll walk you through. I'll change my screen so you can actually see my screen, and I'll show you some of the examples as well as how to create your own website. So first of all, the benefits. Free online courses often make high converting lead magnets. So if you're looking to build your list and dabble in, say, email marketing or something similar, this kind of content is certainly worth considering. In addition, online courses help position you as an authority in your industry. So this can work wonders for building credibility and enhancing your brand. So you might not even be using online courses to make money. You might be using it as outreach for a current business that you already have. So there are all sorts of options that you can consider. And then eventually you could create a passive income stream. Some people are really good at it and they create professional videos and they'll start making money from the start. Not everyone's like that, but you do have the opportunity. And you can also work from anywhere. You can turn a passion into a profit. And creating and selling online courses doesn't really require much in the way of financial investment, like I said before. So we also have, the online course market can be more profitable and faster pace than other digital business ventures out there, such as blogging or YouTube. Now, personally, I would recommend that eventually you actually combine all of those together as a digital marketer. So you can run a YouTube channel as well as creating online courses. You can run a blog as well as your online courses. I've noticed, I've seen many fitness blogs, streaming channels on Roku and Apple TV, and where they'll have a bunch of free content on YouTube, and then that will kind of funnel people into their paid content on their website. So all of it can be linked together. I definitely wouldn't think of that right now. There's no need to. It's a little bit too much when it comes to your time investment. So the best idea is to, think about the ideas that you might have in terms of building your online course. And if there are any particular skills that you have, even if you're just a beginner, because as I'll show you, there are plenty of options. You don't have to charge $500 for an online course for it to come out amazing. You could very well be an intermediate teaching beginners. You could be an advanced user teaching intermediates. It all depends on where you're situated and what you're planning to do. So, all right, let's get started. How to create an online course. Choosing the right topic is going to be the first area of business that we want to cover. Before creating your course, you want to ask yourself what you actually want to teach. Now, if this has you stumped, you can definitely look for inspiration in other areas. The internet is obviously a good place to start. Market research is a fantastic starting point as well. So you can do some digging to find which courses are the most sought after and what do they cover. What's great about the internet is that there are so many online courses already. But what's also great is that you can always create a different angle or expand on what a current online course is talking about, allowing you to kind of stand out and justify whatever prices you might be charging. So what I'm going to do here is just change up my screen for a second. All right, so as you can see, I have Udemy here, or Udemy, however you pronounce it, but this is a very popular online course marketplace. And we'll cover that more, that you can sell your online courses through, say, a marketplace like Udemy, or what's another popular one here? Lynda.com is also extremely popular. Most of their videos, I believe, come from internal employees or maybe contractors, so I'm not entirely sure how you would get your stuff on there, but we can explore that. As for Udemy, I am extremely familiar with this because I've used it for my own learning, and I've also posted things on here as well. For example, digital photography. So like I said, we're trying to figure out the subject matter. What are you going to be the expert at? There are plenty of options from professional areas like project management, online marketing, ET essentials like Excel, Google Suite, um, different types of software, writing software. I've seen plenty of courses on that get advertised to me on Facebook. Team management, interview skills, whatever it may be. So if we go through here, one of my favorite ways to research is to see what's the most popular on Udemy. You can also Google something. You can take a look at the website Teachable. This is a platform we'll talk about, but they have all sorts of examples from the arts to health niche. So like, let's take a look at this one here. We have academics. So A-levels tutoring. Let's see what comes up. So this is tailored tutors, and they have 3 subjects: biology, chemistry, and math. So you might be a teacher, or you might just be a hobbyist when it comes to math or chemistry. So this shows you that there is definitely a market for it. How much of a market? It's a little difficult with people's actual websites. So you're going to have to either research, maybe contact the site owners, or even check in to see if there are any reviews on these websites, or you might be able to contact some of these students. But like I said, my favorite way to do it is to look at the more established marketplaces like Udemy, and it's very similar to something like Amazon, except for online courses, where they have it broken down into so many categories and subcategories that you can take a look and see, all right, do I want to teach something that's more professional, like IT and software? So, you can go into operating systems or hardware like PLC or microcontrollers. Or you can go into something like, let's say, hobbies like photography. You might do something like health and fitness, so yoga and nutrition, all extremely popular options. Let's see what else they have. Lifestyle is a great category because this can be everything and anything. If we look at it here, food and beverage. If you like baking bread, guess what? There are courses about baking bread on there. If you like to travel, maybe you're a travel writer and you think you would be able to train other people on how to be travel writers. You can post your own online courses through Udemy. Pet care, home improvement, gaming. So take a look at these, see which ones you have skills in, or you're a hobbyist or you're a professional, whatever it is. And then it's important to actually click through. So let's say I like playing poker on Friday nights with my friends, and I'm getting pretty good at it, and I think I might be able to teach some people some things. So let's take a look at the poker page. All right, so all poker courses. Okay, so this is pretty cool because I actually didn't expect much from poker. But guys are charging, looks like $50 for this one, $40 for that one. And you have to keep in mind that Udemy is kind of notorious for having lower prices. That's one of the reasons so many people come to the site. But it's also a great way to market your newer online courses. As you can see, they have them steeply discounted here. But if you take a look over here, 4.4 stars, an average rating of 4.4 stars, and over 1,000 ratings. So that's kind of huge. This guy has 170 lectures for 24 total hours. Now, that is a lot of work. So some of the top courses you're going to find on here are very long. But what's good is that once you have your entire setup, like with a camera, your microphone, your computer, as well as your screen capture software, which screen capture software is actually pretty affordable, you should actually be able to hammer out several hours of online courses in a small period of time. So let's go continue down here, and this kind of gives you an idea of what an online course page might look like. So if we look at the requirements, what you'll learn, requirements, so all this fun stuff is here. But that's the reason I like Udemy for research so much, is because they give you the ratings, they give you how many people are actually involved with these courses, and you can calculate how much money these people are making. If we jump back, a better example for a beginner, someone who's just learning getting their videos online, their online courses, would be, say, 10 hours. That's manageable. This guy has 2 hours, but he still has 123, might be a girl. There we go. So the poker blueprint, learn to play poker. She has 4.0 for her ratings with 84 ratings. So that's not bad for 56 lectures and 3.5 total hours. So she obviously spent a lot more time than 3.5 hours. But usually once you get the hang of it and once you start recording your videos or recording your screen, you can fly through these training videos. So yeah, that is definitely one of the best ways to do it, because unfortunately Udemy is one of the few that has those ratings and shows you how many people are enrolled. You can I encourage you to Google different topics as well to see if there are other competitors that you might be going up against and to see what type of content they create, as well as the types of ratings they're receiving and how many customers they have. Sorry, I'm just sitting on this one page. Let's look at another one here. So photography, that's something that I've looked into quite a bit, and I've bought courses on Udemy. So let's look at this one, 34,000 reviews. So obviously photography is a far more popular option. Let's go to a smaller one. Let's see here. Making great videos, beginners creative course. Sounds nice. And this guy has some solid ratings, 124 students enrolled currently. And then if we scroll down, this is, again, great for research because you can look at the course outlines, kind of the rubrics of how these people have structured their own online courses. So he has storytelling, editing, best basic filming techniques, and then many of them also have preview content. So you can click on that introduction and see exactly how he's formulating his videos. And I would also encourage you to buy some of the competition that you're going to have, and then look at, for sure, look at the student feedback just to, again, get an idea of what type of feedback you're going to be receiving, and if there's going to be situations where you might have to deal with, unruly students or anything like that. So it is a business, so weird things could happen, but overall, I would say you should have a pretty good time. It's a inviting experience, or an inviting environment for most students who are online, and it's a laid back and learning environment for everyone. Okay, so and then basically settling on that final topic that you're going to focus on, and of course you can make several courses with many topics if you'd like, but for your first one, I think it's important to either find a problem that you can solve or to simply ask your audience. Now, if you don't have an audience, if you don't have a blog, let's go to, let's see, personal development. I want to do productivity. Let's go with career development. So maybe you have gotten used to going to LinkedIn a lot and you feel like you're very familiar with the platform. Maybe you should make a LinkedIn course. Now, if you don't already have a blog or a Instagram following or a business of any sort, then you might want to just find a problem in the current market that's going on right now. So if we looked at LinkedIn courses, now this is going to be a little subjective, but you can take a look at, which courses are succeeding in certain areas and which courses are failing. Sorry, it always shows a pop-up there. But it looks like all of them have fairly good ratings. But let's go to one of the more popular ones. LinkedIn marketing, lead generation, and business-to-business sales for LinkedIn. All right. So what you can do is go through here and identify some of the areas in the course content that maybe are missing. So if you notice that maybe they're not talking about groups, LinkedIn groups is one of the newer features of LinkedIn. that allow people to kind of interact and network with other people in similar industries, maybe this person missed that. If that's the case, you can kind of sell your course as an improvement on what this guy has done. And then you can also scroll down and look at some of the reviews to see what other people, looks like he has some good reviews here. See here, some nice tactics, but I was expecting more. I still know nothing about premium accounts. There you go. That's something that may actually be missing in this guy's online course. So you can go back and start playing around with LinkedIn and learn all about premium accounts, record maybe a 20-minute overview of how to create premium accounts and how they might actually help you with your business marketing. And then that already is an improvement on what this person is doing on Udemy. All right, one more example. I'm just going to skip around here. Practical examples need to be included, as you can see here. Most of the examples given respect to the marketing department. I'm assuming what he's saying are in respect to the marketing department. So he's looking for more real-world examples. So maybe this particular course didn't give enough. So as you're scrolling through these reviews, you can write these down, and when you're doing that, that's already creating an outline for your own course. Another option would be to ask your audience. So if you do have a blog, if you do have a business, might as well just send out some sort of email marketing. You can create a Google form. There are various different options to consider when trying to figure out what you should be teaching people online. Because the key is you don't want to just go into it blind. You want to at least have some sort of feedback, and asking your audience, doing some sort of online research, or just finding a problem in the marketplace right now. All of those are great. And what's cool is you can usually combine all of them, unless, of course, you don't have an audience right now. But there are plenty of options for you. And moving on, validating your course idea, that's going to involve your research, checking in with people, figuring out if that idea is marketable, and if it is already being marketed online. There might be a possibility that you can tap into this market as well. Okay, and then moving forward, you can create an online or an outline for your online course, and some other examples that I like in particular for creating new online courses. I know a lot of people ask, well, where do I get my content? Is it all just coming from my head? Do I have to learn do I have to learn and then kind of regurgitate it to my own students? And it's kind of a mixed bag. So you should probably have some sort of knowledge in the topic that you're about to teach. If you have never swung a golf club in your life and now you're trying to teach people how to play golf, it's probably not the best idea. But if you have owned, say, a DSLR camera for 5 years and you've always taken pictures on your vacations, then that sounds like a great plan. You're going to have to research more. You're going to have to learn more on the topic. And what's more, one of the greatest ideas that you can use for creating new content is actually repurposing old content. So whether it's borrowing from courses that you've learned from, not copying, borrowing, taking what you've learned and giving your own spin, or if you have a blog or a YouTube channel or just a social media account, a personal social media account, those are all options for repurposing your content and using it over and over in different ways. Now, once you have found your topic, once you have decided, all right, this is what I'm going to do, this is my outline, I know enough about it, and I'm ready to learn anything that I need to in order to move forward, you need to structure your lessons. And then you also need to create your lessons. So structuring often has to do with providing some sort of outline. Like I've said before, each lesson should push students further towards reaching whatever the goal of your course is. For example, if your course aims to explain how to launch a freelance writing business, with every lesson that passes, your student should get a step closer to achieving this goal. So, if that makes sense or not to you, I can give you some further examples. So, with that in mind, this poses the question of, how do you structure that? It's, of course, always going to be similar to like a funnel to ensure your students make adequate progress as the course unfolds. So we're going to start with the learning objective. What is the objective? What are you trying to do? I'll stick with photography for this example. With photography, uh, let's say it's a beginner's course. We want to teach these beginners how to be able to compose a picture with their DSLR camera, find the right things that they want to shoot, whether it's landscapes or objects or people, how to compose their photography, and then create a close to professional print for to send out to their friends or maybe to sell online or something like that. They're not going to be pros by the end of your beginner course. That's totally fine, but that's not what a beginner course is for. So you need to kind of hammer down that learning objective. And it's usually just going to be one sentence. Have the ability to print out a close to professional level picture. Some other examples might be for like Excel or Word, to be able to learn 100 functions in Excel, or to be able to create useful graphs and functions for a job or something like that. So obviously you can see I hadn't thought of those. And then the next step is going to be how students can apply this knowledge, and then the key takeaways students should take from the actual lesson. So they shouldn't walk away from your course and feel like they are going to forget it the next day. I've often found this happens with language learning. It's kind of notorious in that space, and that people will spend 6 months, a year. I spent 4 years in high school learning German, and then I tried to speak to people in Germany, and I found out that I was not fluent in German. So you want to be able to provide an opportunity for students to apply their knowledge. So, for example, if you're trying to teach people how to become a hobbyist or professional writer, you want to eventually provide them with opportunities, whether it's writing contests, maybe contacts to agents or publishers, or a list of magazines that they can submit their articles to, or even a community of writers where they can share information with each other. So there are all sorts of options that you want to give them to apply that knowledge. And then, of course, there's key takeaways, and that kind of ties into applying the knowledge, but they should be able to retain that knowledge and apply it into their everyday life or just as a hobby. Okay, so now let's move on to how to present your course. And this is going to be kind of a combination of the fun stuff: creating, presenting your course, uploading it to the internet, and selling it to people. So creating a website, all that good stuff. So let's jump back to my screen just so I can show you. Okay, and we're still on Udemy. I'll jump to something else so you're not looking at the same thing all the time. This is one of my favorite online courses for WordPress. It's mainly for beginners. It's called WP 101. So the big question is, how do you present your course? Let's go to the 101 courses. They're somewhere around here. They have their tutorials. Let's say we want to learn about Woocommerce. Now that's an e-commerce option for WordPress. And here are a few ideas for presenting your course. You can go with audio, text, or video content, or a combination of them all. You can opt for quizzes and questionnaires to kind of test people as they go along. You could provide things like PowerPoints, webinars, downloadable materials like worksheets and checklists. as well as, and this is something that would probably be included along the road or down the road. That would be like a discussion board or Q&A area or a forum or even group coaching. Those are all elements that you can add to your course to give your students more value. And that's just to name a few, of course. So let's take a look what they did here on the WP 101 website. It looks like the course outline is on the right side. So you'll learn things like installing WooCommerce, creating a simple product, variable product. And if we keep going, we can actually click on one of these. So installing WooCommerce, let's see what they did here. So they have primarily videos, and this is one of my favorite formats. It just makes the most sense. People can see what you're doing on your screen. You can film yourself if you want. All you need is a computer, a somewhat decent camera, as well as a somewhat decent microphone. And then, all you have to do is upload it and you're ready to go. And let's see what else they have here. They have links, so download the WooCommerce plugin. Almost all online courses have some sort of text as well. So for example, this guy has outlines, but it's nice if you have some sort of tutorial or like example or a worksheet that you want your students to be going through as they're working their way through this course, then you can include all of that. So just be sure to kind of figure out how you want to present your course and use some of these examples online for designing your own courses. Let's find another one here. Health and fitness. We'll go to yoga and all yoga. Okay, so Yoga Sounds True presents the Yoga of Awakening. Looks pretty popular. And I also want to talk about pricing here. How do you set the right pricing? Sometimes with Udemy or any other marketplace, you're going to have to look at competitors. Otherwise, if most of the yoga videos you see are $50 and you price your yoga course at $400, then it's not going to sell, even if it's the best yoga course in the world. You also don't want to undercut yourself because you do want to be making as much money as possible. But what's cool is with these marketplaces, people expect a better value. So they'll go here, and if you are a course creator, they're great options for marketing your newer courses. But eventually, once you become like a real professional, once you have improved your videos and people are willing to pay more money for them, let's see what the WP 101, I think they're actually fairly affordable. But many of them that have their own websites will charge a lot more money. Okay, there it is. So $49 per year. And with WP 101, they offer quite a bit with that membership. So you can sell it as a membership. You could sell it as a one-off online course. There are plenty of options. You could sell it as a monthly subscription. As you can see, $49 per year is very cheap. You're going to get lots of customers that way if your content is pretty good. But as you can see, they have a help forum. They have, these are their courses. They have just some other content on here, like a blog. They have a community behind their courses as well. So people are paying their memberships to speak with other people and work through that help forum. If you take a look at it here, this is something you can't always find as a tight-knit group of people talking about one singular topic. So, how do you install? And this is, again, down the road for most people, especially beginners. But yeah, some other pricing examples. I think this one might have been a good example. The tailored tutors. Let's see here. If we have, we're in math already. And they have their outline, try free for 7 days, core features. I'm assuming we'll get to pricing eventually. Okay, how much does it cost? They have a pricing page that we can look at. All right, so this is much more expensive and for good reason. If you actually browse around on the Tailored Tutors website, They have so much content on here. So they're charging $79 per month. That's $49 per month just for a content guide, an exam guide. So this is really a website more for younger students potentially. It could be older students as well, but these are people trying to pass real world exams. So it makes sense to charge more for this. Let's see, I think there was another or a few other ones. Languages, that might be a good option. Let's go to niches, memberships, businesses. And again, just browsing around on the internet, it's a great way to see. Check out jazz guitar lessons. Become the best jazz guitarist you can be. So again, this is just a random person somewhere in the world who has experience with jazz guitar, playing the jazz guitar. So yeah, let's go back up here. And he actually has a different strategy. So as you research, you'll start to find that there are so many different strategies. He actually doesn't present pricing until you sign up for his email list. So he is collecting plenty of emails, and that will allow him to sell his courses into the future. So that's an option as well for you. I'm going to jump over here. This is a yoga course that I found, home practice series for general back care. So that's fairly niche. Home practice series for scoliosis. These are both $333 a year. Now, when you break that down, that's actually not that expensive, but it is more expensive than what we've been seeing. So as you can see, there are all sorts of pricing models you can approach. And I would say just as you get better and better with your online courses, you can charge more and you can create memberships where people receive more value, such as communities and extra materials. All right, so next up is going to be choosing a course building platform. That's going to be where you post your course online. Online course builders, also known as learning management systems, make it easy to upload all your content in a structured and well-presented way. But when it comes to finding one of those platforms, you want to just do some research, and we'll teach you the ones that we like the most. First of all, there are two main ways you can sell your online course. One is via an online marketplace. The other is through your own website. Now, we touched on that briefly. And if we jump back to my screen, we learned that Udemy is a marketplace, as is lynda.com. There are plenty of other marketplaces to sell your online course. Udemy is probably the most popular. And you can also do it through your website. So we've checked out a few of those. Tailored Tutors, this is their own website. WP 101, that's their own website. And you would typically do that through, you might make a WordPress website. One of my favorite options is Teachable, which we'll walk through briefly. And the online courses, so they're hosted by Teachable. It's basically a website builder. And there are pros and cons to both of them. I would say that the average online course creator utilizes both. So the first would be more exposure is possible through an online marketplace. You have no financial investment is required for that marketplace. And they're also very easy to use. These systems are already set up for you. You can upload your videos, write out all your content, and then you can start selling. Some disadvantages include the fact that you have no control over how that design is presented. You also are building an audience of your own. You're not building an audience of your own. It's definitely more difficult. Most of the emails that go out are coming from that marketplace. So you're not going to be branding everything for your business. In addition, revenue sharing can significantly limit your earning potential. I don't actually have the numbers in front of me right now, but I think Udemy actually, on occasion, depending on how the sale comes in, will take 50% of your sale. However, if you don't have any audience whatsoever, 50% of your sale is actually a lot better than nothing. So like I said, it's a great way to launch your online course. Finally, you'll face more immediate competition with those marketplaces. As we saw before, there are so many people out there making wonderful content. And so there are just lots of things to think about. And I would argue that you start with a marketplace, you might keep some of your content on there forever, and then you eventually create your own WordPress or Teachable website. As for your own website, like if it were to be on Teachable or WordPress, there are plenty of advantages, like you're free to design your own brand. You can put your logo on there. You can send out your own email notifications. It's also up to you how much you want to charge for your courses. As you saw, most Udemy courses were listed at like $10 or $20. That's really low. But once you create your own website, you can charge whatever you want within reason. Also, your profits are your own. You will almost always keep around 90 to 100% of your sales, whereas with marketplaces, you'll often lose 50% of the sale. You can also expand your business without limits. You have total reign over what's going on that website. As for the drawbacks, you'll have to shell out some money to create your own website. With Udemy, it's completely free. You create an account, you can upload your videos. But with your own website, you need hosting or you need to pay for a service like Teachable. And you're also relying on your own marketing. So I guess with more of that flexibility and more of that opportunity to customize your site comes a lot more responsibility, from SEO to social media, driving traffic to your website. It's all done by you. Let's see, we got one more point here. The initial setup will most likely take longer as well, because you have to build the site yourself. Even if it's through Teachable, you don't have to be a coder to work with Teachable. It's actually really simple, but it's still going to take longer to learn Teachable. Teachable.com, it's a platform that I'll show you in just a second. We kind of touched on it. It's going to take a little bit longer than it would be to go on a marketplace. All right, so in other videos, we'll cover the real nitty-gritty details of creating your own online course website. But right now, I would recommend, going to teachable.com. They do have a free plan. If you go to their pricing page, scroll down here, free plan, paid courses, $1 plus 10%. Oh, sorry, that's the transaction fee. So yeah, that's actually pretty high, but it's better than 50%. So you could run a fairly small online course for free. So I do recommend that. You can at least play around with it. If you hate it, get rid of it, try something else. But all you have to do is go to this area, create a course, and you type in your full name, email, password. It's just like any software that is a service. So it's all developed for you. It's run through your browser. The hosting is provided. And I'll run through this really quick so you don't have to watch all these details. Once you've signed up for an account, you will name your school. I have Joe's Amazing Photography School. And then you just click Create New School. It's as simple as that. I mean, it really is one of the easiest ways to create a website. Like I said before, WordPress is nice, but it does require much more development knowledge. There's some other junk here, which is fine. You can fill it in. No, I'm just exploring. But I'll probably skip all this for you guys. Okay, so once you are in the dashboard, and I'm just going to go over this briefly. This is what it looks like. It's very sleek, modern. You have your dashboard, users, site, sales. Once those start coming in, you can send out your own emails and configure your courses. My favorite is that they just have a nice little checklist here, so we can complete these steps to set up your school. They have live webinars, and the only thing I'm going to walk through right now is creating a course. So course title, I called this a photography school. So I'm going to do beginner Photoshop tutorial. You can get more creative with your titles. Let's see what else here. Course subtitle, select author. I have everything you need to know about Photoshop and John Johnson. That's my made-up author. Create course. And what's interesting is that whether you're using Teachable, there's some other ones like Thinkific, thinkific.com, WordPress, you might find a theme that is built just for online courses, or Udemy. They all look pretty similar when you're setting things up. So you add your curriculum, you can set your pricing, you can create drip content, comments, coupons, manage your students, and then you can preview. It's a drag and drop editor with page blocks over here, so you can move around your banner. You can add images, curriculum. Hi, I'm Joe. This course is closed for enrollment, and then you can have all of your pages, your courses down there. And back to the curriculum, I think a good example, or at least something to show you guys, is that you can make things downloadable. So if you wanted to include some sort of test or exercise for your students to complete, all of that is available. And if I clicked on this, this would allow me to add the content for that lecture. That's what I was trying to do before. You can add a file, add text, add a quiz, code example, custom code. So all of that is available for you. And like I said, we'll roll through more of the features in some of our future videos, but I would encourage you to take a look at some of these examples on Teachable, browse through Udemy. I just as an example, I mean, this is what like the front end of the Teachable websites look like. They're all kind of templated. They have templates, but they look kind of similar, but you can customize them. Let's look at the coding one. Yeah, so this is nicely done. It looks totally different from the one we saw before. Stop wasting your time with confusing code. They have reviews on here. What are these courses for? And if we actually go to the courses, let's look at advanced JavaScript. Guaranteed to be up to date. Yeah, so this is just kind of like a landing page. People can sign up. They can see what they'll learn, who the course is for, the entire course outline. One very common practice is to include an introduction video. It doesn't look like this person has that. Another option is, they have all of these pricing pages, which is yet another feature that is just great for building your own online courses. Okay, so that's all we have for you right now. That's kind of the base layer for building a successful online course. Once you figure that out, you'll be well on your way to nurturing your students. Hopefully this guide has brought you a few steps closer to creating your own online course. Really one of the best steps you can take is just start creating something. Your first 1, 2, or 10 videos might not be as professional as you want them to be. But whether it's a fresh idea or you've been toying around with it for a while, there's really no better time to start than today. So I encourage you to get started. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.